Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to draw eyes. I'm going to go over my entire process. I start with the basic eye shape. I use the 4-line structure, which is going to be 2 lines for the top lid and 2 for the bottom. The corners being the 2 corners of the eyes and the peak of each eyelid, top and bottom. And I like to add in a few fun little details with eyelashes or other little characterizations. But eyelashes are probably the easiest way to add in like your own personal touch in the way you draw them. I like to make them hollow, and so they're going to be the inside of the eyelash is the same color as the eye itself, as the white of the eye. I also like to fill in the top of the iris with black to show that shadow, especially before I even get to coloring. It makes it easier when you're just drawing versus coloring, but it also adds in depth once you start drawing as well, or once you start coloring as well. I often will leave the coloring of the eyes for last in my drawings. I'll do the skin, hair, everything else, and then I'll go in to color the eyes. And I like to choose, for the white of the eye, I like to choose a color that's slightly off-white, slightly darker, so that when I add in my highlights, they pop more. And I like to use just any kind of watercolor type brush for the shading. And then I like to go in and blend it a little bit more and then add definition later to give the eye more depth. I like a more soft look rather than a super shiny and glossy look for my eyes, since I don't want them to be the focal point all the time of the drawing. I want them to be a part of it. I don't want them to steal the show. And so I'll often do more of just a simpler shading. I don't want to go too big with the highlights. I'll often add in a small iris using a watercolor brush as well, just to show that there's an iris, but not define it too much, since I like it when it just kind of peeks out a little bit rather than it being the focal point of the eye. I think it's easy to look a little bit too big or too small. It's easy to make it the wrong size. One thing that's like specific to my style and how I draw eyes is adding the little ring light effect to the middle of the eyes. I think it looks really pretty. Like, I know it's just from people who use the ring lights, like on social media. A lot of creators will use the ring light, and then you'll see it in their eyes. I just think it looks so whimsical, and so I've been adding it to the eyes when I draw them, especially if I don't add in a really defined pupil. I'll add in that ring light highlight to still show the pupil or where it would be without having to put one in. Yeah, I'm just doing some shading, and then I just do a quick line highlight on the eye. Either side works, just to add some shine. I don't want to make it too thick so that it overtakes the eye, but I don't want to make it too thin where it looks like it's not supposed to be there. So I just add medium thickness, medium length, and then around the eye, I'll often shade the bottom and top lids. I'll shade the nose and color everything in, make the eye look like it's supposed to be there rather than just sitting on top of the skin. Because I find making the eye a part of the drawing rather than something separate can be kind of hard to achieve. Sometimes you'll draw it super big and you'll shade it differently than the rest of the piece, and that can make it not quite fit or not feel coherent. But if you shade the skin with the eye, around the eye, to make it clear that it's supposed to be there, it'll look more coherent. After I do shading, I'll often add some more details, like some extra lashes, or just redefine the line art, adding in small details here and there until I'm satisfied. Just giving it character, I guess. And this is completely optional. You don't have to do it, but do it for fun if you want to. overall, just not overthinking it, I think helps the most. Because when you go to draw and you draw your character, you're going to go onto the eyes, you're about to draw the eyes, and you feel stuck. Like you don't know how to characterize them or how to make them not take over the drawing. It's good to take a step back and just keep it simple. Some art styles, the eyes are everything. I think most art styles, the eyes are very important to the art style's unique character. And learning your art style and like building your art style and deciding how you want to draw eyes and the details you want to put on them is the first step to building your art style as well. And so once you can get like a basic idea of the shapes you want to use, that can make whenever you draw eyes in the future much easier and much more coherent, rather than every time you draw it looks like a completely new art style because the eyes are completely different based on what anime you watched or what artist you're into at the time. If you can get a basic shape down, that can help you stay consistent with your art style. And you can take pieces from those who inspire you. You can learn from them and take that inspiration into your own art style without it feeling like it took away your art style, without it feeling like it's no longer yours or an identity crisis art style moment. I've had plenty of those. But if you can get your basic shapes down and your basic expressions, it'll be a lot easier moving forward when you get inspired by other people. And that is my drawing tutorial. I hope you learned something and that you enjoyed the video. If you learned something, you can leave a like or a comment if you want. Let me know how long you've been drawing. And if you feel like eyes are the most important piece to an art style, or if they can be set aside for other parts. But let me know what you guys think. And if eyes in your art style are super important, or if you just kind of do something simple. All right, I'll see you in the next one, and have a good one.